In this session, I'm going to take you through some exercises that can be really good for helping with knee pain. So if you're suffering with knee pain, as a physio, we often recommend some exercises to stabilise around your knee joint. So they're working the muscles above and below the knee, as far up as into our hips. Some core work can also be really helpful, so working our abs as well. So we're going to go through a few exercises, working those muscle groups in this session today. So we're going to start off just warming ourselves up, standing with our feet about hip width apart. Just going for a few shoulder rolls here. So just roll your shoulders back a few times. And then you're going to take your shoulders back and down, take your hands onto your hips, and just trying a bit of pelvic tilting. So we're going to just tip forwards and backwards with our pelvis, just feeling your lower back arching and flattening. And then we're going to find neutral spine. So find that middle position with your lower back. Take a nice big deep breath in. As you breathe out, think about drawing up and in through your pelvic floor muscles, draw your belly button in towards your spine, so that get that core engaging and switching on. Then just relax your arms by your sides, check those shoulders have dropped away from your ears, that core is staying active. We're just going to go for a little bit of a stretch to our feet, ankles, hips and knees with our walking foot series. So you're going to lift one heel up, so you're coming up onto your toes on one foot, take that heel down, switch, lift your other heel up and then come back down. So think about keeping your pelvis really level. Try and keep your weight nice and central. So if you imagine there's a plumb line coming down through the middle of your body, you're staying in the middle of that imaginary plumb line. So it's getting a nice stretch through our legs, just warming up into this movement. Nice steady breathing as we move here. Then let's speed our movement up. So as you lift one heel up, we're going to lower the other one down. So going a little bit quicker, keeping that core active as we move a bit quicker with those legs. Then you can try adding your arms in as well. So opposite hand comes forwards with your opposite knee. So keep nice and open through that chest. Shoulders stay back and down. Breathing is steady. Still staying in the middle of that imaginary plumb line. Or sometimes it can help to imagine you've got a book balanced on your head. You're going to try and keep that book balanced there as we move through our legs. We're going to go for 2 more on each side. And then lowering down from here to give those legs a little bit of a shake through. And then we're going to try some squats. So keeping your weight back into your heels, just seeing how your knees feel as you do this one. You can change your range depending on how you feel, but think about a really nice technique here. So weight is back into our heels. Knees are going to stay hip width. You're going to breathe in as you squat down, breathe out as you straighten up. So we're staying long through our spine, hinging from our hips, stay open through your chest, back stays neutral as you squat and then straighten. That's it, breathe in as you squat down. Breathe out as you push back up again. And then if you want to start working your hips a little bit harder, you can try adding in heel raises at the same time. So you're going to come down into your squat, push up onto your toes, straighten your knees, then lower your heels. So squat onto your toes, straighten your knees, lower your heels. And as you push up onto your toes, so squat up onto your toes, just watch your knees don't come together. Try and keep that space between your knees. So you should feel like your hip muscles are having to work a little bit harder to keep that stability as you start to challenge your balance a little bit more. We'll go for 3 more here. So 2 more. And last one. And then lowering down again, give yourselves a little bit of a shake out. For our next one, we're going to challenge our balance a little bit more. We're going to take our weight onto one foot. So squeeze the hip on the leg you're standing on. Again, your back is neutral, standing nice and tall. And we're going to try and do a little dip. So you're going to do like a mini single leg squat. And as you squat, you're going to tap your toes in front of you. Then you're going to straighten your knee back up. And then you're going to do another little dip. Tap your toes out to the side, straighten back up. Another little dip, take your toes back behind you. You can have your hands on your sides or take your hands onto your hips for this one. So tap in front as you squat, straighten back up, tap out to the side, and then up, tap behind, and back up. Let's go for 1 more round on this side. So squat and tap to the side, and then squat and do that little tap with your toes behind. Give those legs a shake out, and then switching sides. So balance on your other leg, and then little dip, tap in front, little dip, tap to the side, little dip and tap behind. So let's go for a couple more rounds on this side. Think about squeezing through that hip, using your core to help keep your balance. 1 more round on this leg. Good, well done. And then coming back in, give those legs a bit of a shake through. Well done. Okay, then from here, we're going to have a roll down. We're going to come down onto the floor. So you're just going to peel yourself down nice and smoothly, one vertebra at a time. When you can't get any lower, take a little crouch down. We're going to take ourselves forwards. We're going to take a lie down onto our fronts, and we're going to take a bit of a stretch through our legs here, so into our quads. So you're going to lie onto your front. If you've got a pillow, you can just support your head on your pillow or rest your head on one of your hands. Then you're going to bend one of your knees. You're going to take your hand round behind you, holding onto your foot or your ankle. Think about aiming your tailbone away, so stay long through your spine, keeping your pelvis down to the floor. Pull your heel into your bum. Feel that stretch up the front of your thigh. I'm just going to hold it here for a few breaths. So you should feel hopefully a good stretch into your quads, the front of your thigh. So quite often if you've got knee pain, you'll find that you get really tight into your thigh muscles. So this stretch can be a really nice one to do to loosen you off. So just holding our stretch for about 30 seconds or so. And then we're going to repeat it on the other side. So just releasing from there, switching sides, bend your other knee in, taking hold of your foot or ankle, pull your heel into your bum again. Again, just try and think about being long through your spine, keeping those hip bones down towards the floor. Try not to let your bum stick up. You can try and push those hip bones forwards. That will help give you a stronger stretch. You'll get a bit more out of it. And then slowly releasing from there, and then pushing yourself up from here. We're going to turn onto our backs next. And then once you're onto your back, again, if you've got a pillow, you can use it to support your head. You're nice and long through the back of your neck. You want that little tuck under your chin. Shoulders are down away from our ears. We're nice and wide and open through our collarbones. Ribs are flat to our stomach. Having your feet about hip width apart with that little space between your knees. And then finding your neutral spine position with your lower back. So you can try a bit of pelvic tilting and then find your neutral spine position. Nice big breath in. And then as you breathe out, draw your belly button in towards your spine, drawing up and into your pelvic floor muscles. So our core is active here. And then we're going to work through our legs. We're just going to take our right leg here into single tabletop. So that's a 90-degree bend at your hip and at your knee. And then you're going to stretch your leg away and take it back in. So breathe out as you stretch away. Breathe in as you flex back in. So as you stretch away, think about really squeezing your thigh muscles, reaching your toes towards the wall at the other end of the room. So breathe out as you stretch away. Breathe in as you come back in. If you want to make it harder on your core, take your left leg up into tabletop. Hold your left leg there as you flex and straighten with your right leg. Really drawing into your abs, checking that your back doesn't arch. Squeezing those thigh muscles each time you straighten. If you find that's too much, you can keep your left foot on the floor. So either position with your left leg. And then as you stretch your leg, the further towards the floor you stretch your heel, the harder you're going to work your core. The further towards the ceiling you stretch your leg, the easier it's going to be on your core. But you should feel your thigh muscles working, whichever angle you're stretching at. And then on our next one, last bit here for this leg, you're going to stretch away. Take your toes up towards your nose. Get that knee as straight as you can. And we're going to pulse up and down for 10 pulses. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring that leg in, lower it down, give your thigh a bit of a shake out, just give your knees a rock from side to side, take a little breather, and then take your knees back to the middle, and we'll try the same on the other leg. So back is neutral, core is active, left leg into tabletop this time, breathe out as you stretch away, breathe in as you take your leg back in again, squeezing through those thigh muscles each time you straighten, trying to reach those toes away, try and reach them towards the wall at the other end of the room. Again, if you want to make it harder, float your right leg into tabletop, hold your right leg off the floor as you stretch that left leg away and back in. Really drawing in through your abs, think about keeping that pelvis steady. Think about that distance between your ribs and hips as you stretch away. You want to try and keep that distance the same, try not to let your back arch, that distance increase. That's it, really squeezing through those thigh muscles. Well done. So on our next one, we're going to stretch our leg away. Take your toes up towards your nose, and we're going to pulse up and down for 10 pulses. So for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point your toes away. Take your leg back to tabletop. Lower it down again. Give that thigh a bit of a rub. Let your quads relax off. Give your knees a gentle rock from side to side. And then taking your knees back into the middle. We'll just go for one more stretch here. We're going to stretch our hamstrings. So stretching into the back of our legs. So you're going to stretch your leg up to the ceiling. Take your hands behind your knee, straighten your knee out, toes come back towards your nose. So feel the stretch up the back of your thigh. You can hold it here, or you can slide and stretch your other leg away if you want to increase the stretch a bit more. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths as we hold the stretch. If you find it's too intense with your leg straight, you can always bend your knee back in. And then slowly take that leg down, switching sides, with your other leg up, hold behind your knee, straighten your knee out, toes back towards your nose. And again, you can slide your other leg away if you want to make the stretch stronger, or keep it flexed if that stretch is strong enough. And we'll just take a few breaths here as you feel that stretch into your hamstrings. And then slowly taking that leg down. Just give your knees a little rock from side to side. And then when you feel ready, you can take a slow turn over onto your sides and then take a slow sit up from there when you feel ready to. And then we're all done. So I hope you found those exercises really good for helping to work around our knees, improving our strength and mobility into our knees, but also working around our hips, our thighs, our ankles, a little bit into our core as well. That's all going to help with setting down knee pain. So I really hope it helped. If you enjoyed that session, you'd like to find out more from me, then you can find me on YouTube. So my channel is Animated Physio. You can find me on Instagram at Animated Physio, and I also have a Facebook page, which is also Animated Physio. So you can find me on any of those. And if you've got any questions, please do let me know. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the exercises, and hopefully I'll see you for another session very soon.